folks, I'm Tina Hui with Follow the Coin, the homepage of digital currency and fintech. Welcome to This Bit News. Unfortunately, we've got some breaking news this time that is definitely, in a word, awful. The ship has sunk. Former Moolah.io CEO Alex Green, whose identity has been in question this past week, has confessed. Get this, guys, he has indeed confessed and admitted that he is in fact Ryan Kennedy and also known as Alex Green. Even more unbelievable, folks that were formerly on the Moolah.io team have also come forward to confirm that his identity was really known to the team as Ryan Kennedy behind company doors. And it's being disputed and discussed with Alex Green leading the charge that he is not actually guilty for all of those scam accusations and allegations. However, it is coming to light that he did have all of those multiple identities. Even more astonishing is the discovery that he has been fooling everyone into believing he's someone that he isn't. The realization at this late hour of the story, as the story develops, Alex Green has posted to Moolah.com again. Just a few hours earlier, on Sunday, October 19, 2014, he made a blog post titled Recent Events. In it, he announced that he will not be commenting on the majority of the allegations surrounding him, other than to say that some of the latest ones are, according to him, getting rather ridiculous, and that he denies the vast majority of them. This initially sincere gesture is then tainted with disbelief, with him admitting and confessing that he had indeed legally changed his name from Ryan Kennedy to Alex Green to, quote, attempt to start his life over and have some peace. Okay? Hold on to your seats, folks, because that's not all he's admitting. Ryan. Well, let's just call him Ryan Alex Green Kennedy from now on, since that seems to be the most recent personality and identity he is claiming, goes on to say it recently came to his attention that Moolah.io had been bleeding funds from the core platform. The audit process did not trigger on this because the audit process looks for a difference between the sum balance of consumer accounts and what is reported on the platform. Because of what is a giant technical oversight by himself, it did not take into account any additional funds held on the platform, including funds managed on behalf of MintPal Limited and funds held for third parties. The bug itself seems to have manifested as people being able to arbitrarily double their balances on a whim. According to him, this was reported when Moolah V2 was launched, both privately and in public, and was rapidly resolved, but it appears now that there was another vector that they were unaware of. He is apparently currently digging through the withdrawal history and building a full picture of events to provide to the relevant authorities as required. Uh-oh. Can you bet where this is headed next? Alex Ryan Kennedy Green goes on further to say he investigated the issue while he was overseas. When and where, Alex? Were you spending time in Tokyo with Mt. Gox CEO Mark Karpalès and his team to get advice? Because to a lot of folks in the Bitcoin industry, it sure is beginning to look like you definitely were. According to him, all systems relating to it were shut down immediately as soon as it was noticed that large amounts of capital were missing. And then the next sentence begins with a backtrack again, where he states that the VC who said he would invest to cover the losses after he tentatively stated that MoonPay was going bankrupt has now pulled out of the investment due to the PR backlash that suddenly exploded. Amazingly, he then goes on to say he is now wondering if he should have waited until after the investment closed before hastily doing the right thing and announcing bankruptcy so that the backlash would not occur. Wow, how is that something you're actually admitting? Obviously, the right thing is to always be forthright and not try to seek more funds and close more funds that you may mismanage further. Additionally, the backlash occurred because you were indeed lying about who you are, Alex, and that means the alleged checkered past may also be true, regardless of what you insist otherwise. Let's be honest and brutal here. All of this is not confidence-inspiring or seemingly trustworthy. And it continues, with Green announcing MoonPay Limited is now insolvent with no choice but to enter into liquidation following the passing of a winding up resolution. In plain speak, as he explains it, in the United Kingdom, this is known as a creditor's voluntary liquidation, meaning the company becomes insolvent and registered as unable to pay its debt, much like when a company files for bankruptcy in the US. Green goes on to say a creditors meeting will be announced shortly in relation to this and explains that the company was running out of reserves to operate based on their records, and they'll be making full details of their expenses available to their investors in the very near future. This will include a full breakdown, and receipts and invoices were available. Interestingly, Alex goes on to say that Mula will likely have still gone out of business this month regardless. Yep, if you're following this, it's hard to argue against folks who are pointing out and speculating that these all sound like hacked excuses, and that this feels like Mt. Gox, and moreover, especially in light of the fact, regardless of Alex Green's insistence that he is innocent of allegations of late, that he is Ryan Albright Kennedy Gentle or any other name. Taking a second here, which allegations are you denying specifically, Alex or Ryan? The scams? Perhaps you can call them something else. These look, feel, and if actions could smell, definitely reek of scam. Where did everyone's money go? Make no mistake about it, if you go on Reddit, everyone is saying that this is Mt. Gox unfolding in front of their eyes all over again. As of now, all employees of MintPay Limited, MintPal, and Mula are now fired. Most notably, and this is something he did not mention in the blog post, roughly $2 million in Bitcoins are now gone. Really? It was a glitch you didn't notice? This storyline is a bit too much of a coincidence and in parallel to every other story you've been accused of spinning. The verdict is out, folks. MintPal is now over as well. Mula tweeted just last night, October 18, 2014, that Torii Hiki Limited has ended all association with MintPal Limited right after they tweeted their last blog post. If the folks watching the story closely have their math on point, which I'm sure they do, there's $2 million in Bitcoin out that should not have been mismanaged, if that even is the truth. Technically, it's looking really bad that you're claiming that all of those funds are lost and unattached to either MuPay, MintPal, Mula, or any project you've touched. Alex Ryan is insisting balances that were not stored with Mula have not been subject to the same exploit. And so far, MintPal has processed 2,597 BTC worth of altcoin withdrawals since the platform was fully shut down. A large number of withdrawals, both BTC and altcoin, were processed prior to this event. XMR withdrawals will follow shortly, and some funds are floating around in the old wallets, having failed to be imported, and he is apparently currently trying to reclaim these in order to strengthen exchange reserves. Withdrawals will continue to be processed until all wallets are depleted. Yep, users across Reddit and the Bitcoin industry can definitely be described as being in shock, horrified, and in disbelief. You can bet folks industry-wide are talking about this, and the historical pattern of the chronicled accounts on Encyclopedia Dramatica detailing what Alex claims to be alleged exploits of Sanchi Media and more of Alex Green or Ryan or whatever the last name is would point to a pattern where whoever he is has continually done this over and over for years. And it's hard to argue. Start something, get money from innocent folks, things go awry, and are claimed to be mismanaged, then poof, money is somehow no longer there, and it seems the money along with Alex disappears. Coincidence? Probably not. Money disappears because someone is enjoying it. Oddly, Alex goes on to assert that further details on the exploit and how it occurred will be provided as soon as everything has been fully explored and all records investigated. Interesting that the term exploit is used. Alex's final words in his blog post are that he does not believe he can ever apologize enough to customers of MintPal, investors in Mula, third parties who trusted them, and the general digital currency community at large. This situation should never have occurred, and he intends to never again take a position of leadership in a financial-related company of any kind. Then again, he goes on to say he never expects to work in anything financially related, full stop. He has zero intent of ever going into business for himself ever again, and he does not expect that the general populace will believe anything he has said. And as the sole director of Mula Limited, he fully intends to cooperate with any and all law enforcement and regulatory agencies as required. Alex Ryan goes on to say that contrary to rumors, none have reached out to him just yet, but he is awaiting contact in light of recent events, and that he isn't in hiding, and it would be very easy for any official body to find him. He fully expects that the Insolvency service will find that he poorly managed the situation and likely have him barred from being a company director for 15 years. He says he will cooperate with them fully in the situation, and there has been no criminal wrongdoing on the part of any employee or shareholder in MuPay Limited. And while he can understand the general sentiment against himself, please do not attack his former employees. They were as surprised by this all as he was, if not more, and they never would have had access to the information that could have prevented it. He is shocked and upset that this has happened and is fully aware that he deserves the general sentiment in relation to himself. Again, words cannot express how sorry he is. He will be taking any and all possible action in order to mitigate the damage caused by this event, in turn likely caused by poor management by himself. Alex goes on to say he knows sorry isn't good enough and that he knows he's messed up on a catastrophic level and that there should have been better procedures in place. Sadly, an apology is surely appreciated but not enough. That's the thing, folks. Be dishonest, scam folks, and misrepresent yourself, and trust in any good faith is going to be hard to come by. And frankly, even if Alex is telling the truth, it would be difficult for anyone to believe that he may, as some speculate, be the one getting away with $2 million of folks' money and further likely to disappear and reappear, perhaps with another name and identity once more. We suppose that the public can only agree with the statement Jackson Palmer, the creator of Dogecoin, has shared with Follow the Coin, in which he says, "I'm happy that the truth has finally come to light after a stressful week for everyone involved. People who have been impacted by Ryan Kennedy, Alex Green, now have a clear path to seeking legal action regarding the missing alleged stolen funds. His personal hope is that the criminal is met with justice after the damage he has inflicted upon Dogecoin and the digital currency community at large." Thank you, Jackson. Follow the Coin definitely echoed those sentiments as well. Just yesterday, October 18th, Reddit user Letty, also known as Yogan Hayes, now former systems administrator of Moolah.io, had made a thorough post that can be found on r/Dogecoin detailing personal first-hand experiences with Ryan Kennedy as a person and as a friend and their time with Moolah/MooPay. He spared no details from the time period and duration, and the details are pretty scary and revealing, including a confirmation that Ryan Kennedy and Alex Green are indeed the same person. In the post, he asserts he will be referring to this individual as Ryan Kennedy. That is the name that he saw on his passport. It is the name he calls him. It was the name he made fun of when he booked him a ticket to the UK via Ryanair. It was the name he told him he had changed via a deed poll to Alex Green. Further, Landon Merrill, now former Chief Operating Officer of Moolah, also made a Reddit post going over his account of the events unfolding and his time at Moolah. He asserts in his own words that he has done everything 100% legally and in good faith in the United States. "I've broken no laws, deceived no one, and scammed nothing. My name is listed on the MooPay limited paperwork, but the shares were never legally issued to me, nor a contract or a single piece of paper was signed between myself and Alex Green. Nothing was signed between myself and Ryan Kennedy or any other name he might have used in the past." He then goes on to also support, as Yogan does, that they did not know anything about Alex Green's past as possible scam artist, though they do acknowledge that he was known to them as Ryan Kennedy. It goes without saying that they no longer work with Moolah, Ryan Kennedy, or any other associated company. Apparently, Ryan Kennedy, who is speculated as being Alex Green, the now former CEO of Moolah.io, had two distinct personality profiles that can be distinguished. One was kind, captivating, a wordsmith, highly intelligent, and a good friend. The second was a person that is now being described as a comic book villain, someone who has left a wake of destruction in their path through various alleged cases of deception and fraud, intimidation, and abuse. So here we are with an aftermath that sounds a lot like Mark Karpelits's of Mt. Gox, with the latest update on what is going on with Moolah, MooPay, MintPal, and Alex Ryan Green Kennedy, who has issued a public apology and statement as to the mismanagement of funds associated with MooPay, and that he is indeed someone who was or is known to be Ryan Kennedy. He asserts that he is innocent of most of the claims occurring of late, though he is not specific about which ones, while many accounts and details are being published and surfacing otherwise that do speculate and allege that he has scammed and taken advantage of innocent people and may be getting away with perhaps over $2 million this time around. It is probably also getting lonely out there for Ryan Alex Green Kennedy, with former employees, friends, and the general public being shocked, and while still having the courtesy to not hurt his feelings too badly, going on record or in quiet accounting for disappointing behavior. To that effect, both Hayes and Merrill's posts on Reddit can be read on followthecoin.com. Yogan's is especially detailed. And as of this Sunday morning, October 18, 2014, Syscoin has announced via Twitter that they have served legal letters to all involved parties, as well as MooPay Limited itself, by the Syscoin Legal Counsel. According to crypto articles, they approached Moolah directly and also kept their efforts publicized to get their funds returned in light of all the drama and confusion surrounding the Moolah MintPal situation. since Syscoin could very well be the largest, if not one of the larger victims, with roughly 1,000 BTC of pre-sale funds still in the hands of Mullah, after having approached Mullah and giving them a 24-hour deadline to release the funds, which they have failed to do. Syscoin says that despite these legal actions being taken and the fact that it could take a while until matters are resolved, the Syscoin development remains unaffected. Feedback on the 0.1.5 RC3 is still being collected, and a new DNS seed has been set up successfully. A new IRC tipbot for IRC is currently 90% completed and is expected to be available in a few days. An updated development roadmap is expected to be released in the next 24 to 48 hours, so everyone should keep an eye out for that. They also have some additional official announcements. In the end, what can innocent folks hope for? Their funds back? Highly unlikely to happen. Questions answered? Possibly. But that still leaves folks hurt, confused, and victims of undeserved potential malice. It would be ideal if folks who are unable to manage funds and have purposefully or accidentally taken advantage of people to be honest about their incompetence. It would further be ideal if they were not allowed to be in positions of power to control and manipulate others, and even more so to steal and take advantage of others' hard-earned and rightful money. Listen, if you are someone who has taken advantage of people accidentally or knowingly, people are getting hurt by your actions. It is criminal, no matter how much you think you are in the right. You are taking off with other folks' money without delivering on goods and services you collected the money for, and that is fraud. Further, lying about your status, who you are, and your intentions, or knowingly, even on some minute level, acting upon strategies to get things that you want and being opportunistic is just disgusting. And please do stop trying to manipulate people to get things that you want. It's just not cool, folks. Alright, that's it for this update. Thanks for tuning in. We wish we had some better news, but at least everybody is informed now. And we will be back to report what occurs next, unless he is skipping town altogether and coming out with a whole new identity sometime from now. For now, all we can say is please be safe out there. And as damaging as the unveiling of these events have been, it's better for everybody to be informed and safe. At the end of the day, all we can hope for is that people who are innocent and just trying to support the system will not get hurt, and that entrepreneurs with honest effort and intentions will be able to succeed. Well, we hope everyone has a nice rest of the weekend, and we will be back soon, shortly. We'll see you next time. Thanks, guys. Bye.